treat others the way you want to treat yourself out of high school.
I wish Christians had brought this to me when I was in high school in your own shoes. I brought this message.
I'm a Christian.
You are. So you agree with what I'm doing?
Alright, bro, I gotta go. I got 5 minutes.
Okay, why do you think you're a Christian?
So I have a question.
One last question.
I believe I'm a Christian because I believe in loving everyone. So that means I love other people, even if their decisions.
So you love your neighbor in the womb?
That's not a person yet, in my opinion.
Really?
I don't think it should be used as birth control, no. But I do believe that everyone should have the choice to an abortion.
To murder the baby, then you don't love everyone. You don't love your neighbor in the womb.
God murdered the firstborn sons of Egypt.
What's that?
What about when God murdered the firstborn?
God doesn't murder anybody. If you're a Christian, you understand that. God
murdered the firstborn.
No, God doesn't murder anybody. We murder thousands of babies in this country every day, and you support that.
So if God murders somebody, it's not murder.
God doesn't murder anyone, man.
So then he kills them respectfully?
God has the authority to give and take life anytime he wants.
I'm Officer Greg Barth, Riley County Police Department. Do you have a permit to be on this property?
Really? Public sidewalk?
Yep, you can't encroach on the public sidewalk.
I'm not.
You are on the sidewalk.
I was here yesterday. No one talked to me. I don't. Constitution.
Do you have a permit?
I have the that is my permit. The Constitution. Why are you breaking up this conversation? That's kind of rude.
Do you have a permit? If
The Constitution.
You do not have a permit, you need to go.
Leave a public sidewalk.
Yes.
Really?
Or city ordinance.
And to leave the public sidewalk.
Yep. If you are encroaching on the sidewalk, and you are.
Or who's encroaching?
You're on the sidewalk.
I'm not encroaching anyone any more than you are right now. You just ended a nice conversation. Thank you for that.
You need to leave, please.
To leave a public sidewalk.
Yes.
And what will happen if I don't?
If you're not going to leave the sidewalk and encroaching and not have a permit.
Welcome to Plaza City, Manhattan.
The officers, do you know the Constitution? I'll show it to you. I have a copy for officers who don't know the law. Okay, this is my permit right here. It's really sad that you still have to do this in America. Defend your right to stand on a public sidewalk. The Constitution. And that was such a great conversation. Why'd you break that up? Okay, the Constitution. This is my permit. Let's see here. Let's see here. Amendment 1. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Right to assemble, public sidewalk, that's my permit. So please respect my freedom of speech and stop trying to hinder me from exercising it, please. Officer Gregory, Gregori, badge number please. 36. And Officer Swearingen, Swearingen. It's a long one. Badge number, please.
Sorry?
Badge number, please.
I have an employee number 37.
37. You don't have a badge number? You don't have a badge number? Okay, may I please continue to respect to exercise my freedom of speech and assembly. I'm not encroaching anyone right now, and then I haven't been since I've been here. So that's. I'm going to continue to exercise my freedom of speech and right to assemble. Is there any consequences to me continuing to exercise my First Amendment? Are there any consequences? Okay, appreciate that. They'll clear it up for you. Hello?
Hello. Corporal Peterson.
Okay.
So, I understand you have some issues with us saying you have to have a permit.
Well, on a public sidewalk, yes, in America.
I understand the city of Manhattan does have an ordinance. Okay. That ordinance requires that if you are obstructing a sidewalk or a roadway to protest or picket, that you do have to have a permit.
I wasn't obstructing anything, officer. There was a group of people gathered to talk with me.
So anything where you're protesting, picketing, anything like this falls under that.
It says I'm protesting or picketing, not preaching.
So whether you think it is or isn't, we do. Okay?
Well, but just because you think it is doesn't mean it's what you're saying it is.
Well, I'm telling you that you need a permit to continue doing what you're doing.
Really?
Yes.
On a public sidewalk?
Yes. I can show you the ordinance if you'd like.
I can show you
to
the Constitution.
Okay. I can show you what our ordinance in the city of Manhattan is. If you feel that ordinance is illegal, unjust, then you'll need to deal with the courts on that. That's not something I can unfortunately, decide that we're not going to enforce.
So you're not going to enforce the Constitution? You're not going to protect it?
No, you're more than welcome to do this, sir. You just need to get the permit.
The permit is the Constitution. I read it to them. Should I read it to you, the First Amendment?
No, I understand what the Constitution says.
Well, then enforce it, uphold it, and say you have a right to be here on a public sidewalk.
Yeah, you absolutely do, as long as you get a permit.
The Constitution is my permit.
Okay. Unfortunately, we are going to disagree with your opinion here.
You disagree with the Constitution. That's what you disagree with. That you swore an oath to uphold.
I'm telling you that per the city of Manhattan, you have to have a permit to do what you're doing. Okay.
The Constitution overrides your permit, your ordinance.
Again, I'm not a lawyer, and neither are you.
I don't need to be a lawyer. I have the Constitution in my pocket.
But if you continue to do this without a permit, there will be consequences.
What is the consequence?
We will ask you to stop. If you do not, we will issue a ticket. If you refuse to sign the ticket, we'll arrest you.
So you're threatening to issue a ticket and arrest for standing on a public sidewalk in America.
We'll arrest you if you won't sign the ticket.
If I won't, and so you'll cite me if I continue to stand on a public sidewalk
and protest, yes.
and exercise my First Amendment right,
Correct.
my right to assemble on a
Yes.
public sidewalk.
Without a permit.
Wow. Constitution with my, and even though I've given you the Constitution as my permit. Wow.
Correct.
Wow. Is this Communist China, officer?
It is not.
Okay,
It's
you're
Manhattan,
acting like it
Kansas.
is. You're acting like this is a communist nation.
And I can understand that you and I cannot have a conversation that will be productive.
Well, not if you're not going to do your duty.
Okay, I've told you what we are going to do. If you're unwilling to leave at this point,
I would have left already by now, but because the students are pretty much already in. But I just want to get that on record.
Absolutely.
That you have threatened to
Corporal
cite me
Peterson,
and
badge number is 27.
badge
Work for the
27,
Riley County Police
Officer Peterson, and that you have threatened to cite me, and if I don't sign the citation, you will arrest me for
Yes.
exercising my First Amendment right on a public sidewalk.
Correct.
Wow. Okay.
So are you leaving?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
I've already accomplished my business here, and the officers here have already obstructed my First Amendment right.
Would you like a copy of the permit application?
Don't need it. I already gave you my permit, and you refused to acknowledge it.
So just so we're clear, if you're here again tomorrow, we're just going to issue you the ticket and not ask you to leave, okay?
So you're going to violate my First Amendment right? Well, you're doing that right now. Wow. Do you need a copy of the Constitution before I leave?
Thank you.
Well, read the First Amendment, officer. Read the First Amendment. So, officers have violated the Constitution this morning and have threatened arrest for standing on a public sidewalk here in America. There you go, folks. There you go. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Repent, officers. You're not upholding your duty. You're harassing a Christian for exercising his First Amendment rights on a public sidewalk. Repent.